What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream, where every week we're on a quest to find out what is the greatest movie of all time. I have never been a big fan of Deadpool. Sure, I like the first two movies, but I've always thought they were two of the more overrated comic book movies ever, especially the first one. So going into this, my excitement and hype level was more so about Hugh Jackman's involvement and return as Wolverine. After 2 hours of traveling through the 20th century Marvel multiverse, I'm happy to say that I absolutely loved this entry in the MCU and Deadpool franchise. And that's all despite the fact that I had half of this movie spoiled for me because of assholes online. So the movie starts off with one of the best opening sequences ever. I was skeptical of the bye 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 scene because the concept of it just kind of sounds dumb on paper, but Marvel Jesus does it 100% work for me. And the action never really stops from there. The movie is so fast paced and jam packed with rapid fire jokes that it's almost a detriment to the movie. It felt so dense considering the very little story we actually got, which leads to the feeling of I just felt exhausted towards the back end of the movie just from the constant barrage of jokes. Now, the story is a pretty simple one, which helps and hurts it over the course of those 2 hours. Yes, a majority of this is fan service for the people that grew up with 20th century Marvel Fox, specifically the X-Men universe, X-Men franchise. They are able to create a serviceable story here to justify that team up between Wolverine and Deadpool. But still, it is definitely the weakest element of the entire movie. The addition of Wolverine into the MCU and bringing him together with Deadpool has been something that every fan has wanted for years, and this doesn't disappoint whatsoever. I was skeptical about the return of Hugh Jackman after the perfect ending that he got with his character, and that this would tarnish the movie that is Logan. I believe Hugh is the greatest casting of a comic book character ever, and he's obviously my personal favorite. I honestly can't make an unbiased decision of whether or not I would have preferred him to have stayed retired with the ending of Logan. On one hand, I think he got one of the rarest, most perfect send-offs and would have liked that to be his finale. But on the other hand, I love him so much as Wolverine that I just want more of him as Wolverine, and I'm not disappointed by it. The violent and hilarious interactions between him and Deadpool were everything that I had hoped it would be. Now, I'm not going to spoil any of the cameos here, but every cameo was great. Fan service for sure, but absolutely fantastic cameos across the board. Granted, I was spoiled on 99% of them. I don't know of a cameo that I did not get spoiled on. Whether it was on Twitter, whether it was on TikTok, it was just people filming the movie in the theater and then just throwing it on TikTok. But it was still great to see so many of these iconic characters that I grew up with interacting with Deadpool and Wolverine. And these cameos actually felt like they put some thought into incorporating them into the movie in unique in original ways, unlike The Flash, where they just kind of threw in the cameos haphazardly, like they just didn't even give a shit. But overall, Deadpool and Wolverine was a very satisfying addition to the MCU. It was hilarious from beginning to end, and I felt like the jokes just landed so much better in this entry compared to the other two movies. The real question here is, how will we feel about this movie on subsequent watches? Time will tell where this ends up on my official rankings, but as of now, it's right there in the mix for top tier Marvel movies. Guys, if you have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, let me know in the comments below how you feel about the movie. Where does it stack up on your all-time favorite Marvel movies? And while you're at it, go ahead and hit like, subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.